morning, everybody. Or good afternoon, sorry. Good afternoon. It is Monday, the 25th of March. So, you know what that means, last Monday of the month, and we are coming live for the March social media roundup. I hope you're all well and have had a really successful month. For anybody who doesn't usually watch these, we go live on the Facebook page once a month just to bring you all the latest updates in the world of social media, or at least some of the kind of big changes anyway. So we'll kind of chat to you for about 15 minutes or so, and then what I tend to do is hop over into the Social Media Academy group. I'm just going to pop a link in the comments. And then if you have any questions, I host a Ask Me Anything. Let's see if I can bring this up. Oh, no, I can't. So I will pop a link in the comments afterwards. But basically, we have a Facebook group called the Social Media Academy. You can find it through the Facebook page directly. And every month after these, the roundups, I will go live in the group, and you can ask me anything. So any questions you've got about your social media, for business, or what we talk about today, then you can ask me anything over there directly in a nice exclusive group. So let's crack on with some of the updates this month. Some of the things that I've pulled out really that were interesting me was there's been a bit of discussion about Facebook changing its newsfeed. So it's due to all the kind of privacy discussions and kind of data breaches. Facebook is now looking to mimic kind of Snapchat in a way, and looking at making content less permanent. And making interactions much more private, so you will be able to control who you communicate with, when, and have, in order to give you more confidence that what you are sharing is only accessible to a select amount of people and isn't going to be shared everywhere. So that's really interesting. I'm going to pop the link to that in the comments below, so do take a look. Another thing that they're doing as well this month is they're testing monetization options within Facebook groups. So this has been probably on the cards, I would say, for a while, since they introduced the ability to have membership groups, or subscription-based groups. So I think that's always been on the cards as an opportunity to bring in monetization for group admins. And I'll pop the link in there. If you are using the subscription element of Facebook groups, I know it's not been rolled out widely yet, but do let me know. So I'd be really interested to hear how people are getting on with that. And I've seen quite a few groups that I'm a member of that are offering that option. And I think it's just a great way to add a little bit of extra value to your, or sort of added exclusivity to some of the groups that you manage. What else have they been doing? Facebook are introducing a clear history tool as well. So at the moment you can clear your activity down, but a bit like with Google and other web browsers, you can, they're going to be introducing a feature that allows you to clear your search history within Facebook, so they don't have that data. So websites that you visit, ads you might click on, that sort of thing. So that's quite useful. And keeping in vein with that whole privacy element, WhatsApp recently announced that it's been spoken about that they're going to be introducing an image search function within their app. So this will allow you to check whether or not images that you sent are genuine, or whether or not they could potentially be fake news. So I'll pop a link into that. That looks interesting. Instagram, we've seen some articles talking about being able to sort your following and followers into lists. So a bit like with Twitter, which could be really useful. You'll be given the opportunity to, it's not an extensive search option at the moment, but you will be able to sort your followers into, and who you're following, into those that you've recently started following or who has recently started following you, and also the opposite way around, so people who have been engaged with your brand the longest. So this could be a really great way for you to engage with your biggest fans, or to start those relationships with new fans. So I think that's a really cool feature. Twitter are bringing in a subscribed conversation feature. So at the moment, in order to be kept up to date with tweets and conversation that's happening, you have to directly interact with a tweet. But now they're going to be introducing a subscription or a subscribe to conversation feature, so that you don't have to reply to tweets in order to see what the thread of conversation is. So that's quite, again, useful for you to kind of keep an eye on what's trending, and if there's anything of particular interest, to see what other people are saying about it. They've also introduced a feature in their analytics called Timing is Everything, and it's going to show you when people are engaging with video the most frequently on their, or the times, sorry, the day that are most popular for users watching video. So this isn't going to be your own followers, but you can get that sort of data through your analytics. But this will show you the most popular time on the platform in general for you to start sharing video. So obviously there's loads of talk about video. There has been for months. If you are starting to integrate video into your Twitter strategy, then this could be a good opportunity for you to make the most of video and get it out to more people based on, as we said, the most popular times for people to be consuming that type of content. Talking about video, Pinterest, we don't talk a lot about Pinterest, but Pinterest are introducing video into their app, which is really cool. So they're going to start, usually, traditionally, it's been more of an image-based search kind of discovery site, I'd say. But now they're going to start putting some more videos into boards, which will be really cool, and it will kind of give that extra visual identity, I think, to brand content. And they're also introducing catalogs for brands as well. So if you have an e-commerce site and you have a product catalog on your website, then you can now pull all those items onto Pinterest to create a board that is directly shoppable, and all the images will be there, and people will be able to click, buy and pin your products directly, and shop directly from Pinterest itself, which is a really useful feature for people. If you're not already on Pinterest and you've got a Pinterestable business, it's such a great site. I know we don't talk about it a lot, but it's amazing for SEO and amazing for discovery, and there are so many users on it, especially in the UK, that where people are actively, using Pinterest on a daily basis to actually discover brands, discover products, and to purchase. So if you want any support or advice or information about how you might be able to use Pinterest, then do let me know. What else is changing? What else has come up? Some talk about changing in advertising tools on various sites. LinkedIn is now brought in a lookalike audience feature. This is something that's quite popular with Facebook, that allows you to take an audience, what's the word? Can't think. Source, there you go, an audience source, whether it be people who have engaged with your page, or it might be people who have visited your website, and you can actually take that source and create a lookalike audience. So Facebook will find people on the platform who are similar to those sorts of those are people who are already engaged with or likely to purchase from you. Well, LinkedIn's now introduced a similar feature. So if you're advertising on LinkedIn, then that's definitely one to investigate and start working with. And what else have we got? Oh, I mentioned last month Instagram putting in a new pause notifications feature, which I've started using. It's great. Obviously, if you are getting lots of interaction on your Facebook, on your Instagram posts, your phone might just be constantly going with push notifications like mine is now. And you now have in your settings the ability to pause notifications, so you can actually get some downtime from the app, which is really good, and I've been enjoying that. So yeah, do check that out. It's in your settings. Hey Nicola, don't worry about being late. I'm doing a Ask Me Anything in the Social Media Academy Facebook group after this, so if you're in there, then I'll see you there. If you're not, then jump over into the group. Instagram's also testing internally a web version of DMs, so that is going to allow you to kind of talk to people without having the app, which is useful. And you will be able to directly interact with people via a web browser as well, which is cool. What else have we got? YouTube, we talked a minute ago about WhatsApp having a search function now to check whether images are legit or whether it's fake news. YouTube's also launching a fact check. We don't know when it's going to be rolled out necessarily globally, but it will allow you to check in on whether or not information is false or genuine as well. So there's going to be a lot of this, I think, across all platforms this year, given massive conversations about fake news we've been having lately. There's a new trending content option in LinkedIn, so that's going to start highlighting key conversations. So that will pretty much how trending on other platforms works, but it will allow you to join in conversations that could be specific to your business and be much more targeted with how you're using it. So that's really cool. And I think, guys, that's pretty much it for this month. So yeah, in summary, Pinterest introducing video. They're allowing you to create catalogs and have shoppable pins. If you've got an e-commerce website, that's great. Twitter, you'll be able to subscribe to conversations so you can keep an eye on what people are talking about without necessarily having to interact with the tweets. They're also introducing some new analytics data about when people are most active on the platform, particularly when they're engaging with video content. We've got a couple of new features for people trying to debunk content and whether or not to decide whether or not it's fake or genuine. Facebook are introducing a clear history tool. They're also going to be moving much more towards potentially a Snapchat-esque version of how their platform works. Everything's a lot more private and less permanent. And one other thing I wanted to say before we finish is I saw on the news this weekend, or last weekend I think, that the royal family have created some social media guidelines for their social media accounts. And it triggered me to kind of remind everybody that if you don't have any guidelines, community rules, it's definitely worth having, even if it's just a couple of paragraphs to explain to your followers, the type of behavior that you expect when you're interacting with people as a business. So, if you're going to block people, why you would do that. If you report stuff, why you would do that, and really laying out some expectations about how you want people to interact with you is really important. And I used to do this in public sector. So for larger businesses, and organisations, it's really important. But as a small business, I think it's really crucial as well that you kind of outline how you're going to be using social to interact with your audience and potential customers, but also how you expect to be treated back, and also how you want your entire community to be treated. So if you want any templates for guidelines, just let me know and I'll be happy to send them over. Cool. Okay, so very brief, but that's pretty much the majority of stuff that we've come up with for you this month. I'm going to pop those links to some of the articles in the comments, so if you didn't catch this live, then you can have a quick thumb through and read everything in more detail. And I'm going to be jumping over into the Facebook group in about 20 minutes or so time. 20 minutes or so, yeah. About 22:30. So if you have any direct specific questions about social media for business, hop over there, pop the link in the comments, and I hope to speak to you then. Take care, see you next month. Bye.